Yowts. This is HV2 or Hein Vink 2, where we will take a look at Hein Vink's second orthography. So let's take a closer look at this document here that I've prepared. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you can see better. Hein Vink was the first established linguist to work with the Isla language. And over the course of time, he developed 3 writing systems. His second orthography is probably the most recognized of his and is easily distinguished from his other orthographies. So he used this orthography in a document called a Dictionary of Isla, and he also used it in an untitled language package that I unofficially call an intermediate course in Isla. So he didn't actually give this package a title, so this is just what I call it. And it's because he had a first course in Isla, which came before, and then an advanced course in Isla, which came after. So this kind of fits in between. So here's a table that shows Hein Vink's second orthography and how it compares to what's used now, which is the hybrid orthography. So in the first column, we have the symbols that were used by Hein Vink in his second orthography. The second column here shows the hybrid equivalents, the ones that are used now. And then the next column shows a word using Hein Vink's second orthography, and then the same word in the hybrid orthography and the English meaning behind that word. So we have at the start here, this is kind of like a small vertical bar, or sometimes I call it a straight apostrophe. And this was used to show where to place emphasis in a word, where you place stress in a word. Nowadays, we use this slanted dash, which is an acute accent. So an example of this in Hein Vink's second orthography is baba'o. Baba'o. So you can see here, since this vertical bar follows the A, that means we're placing emphasis on this second syllable. So the first syllable is ba. It's unstressed. The second syllable has the accent marker, so we know we place emphasis there. So we say ba, and then o. So this is kind of a little bit cluttered, especially in the middle here, where we have 2 symbols, one right after the other. In the hybrid orthography, it's a little cleaner because now the accent marker has been placed on top of the A. So it's said exactly the same way, but it's a little more concise, it's cleaner, and now we know that it's pronounced baba'o. We can tell by reading either one of these where we place emphasis, and that's in the middle. So baba'o here and baba'o in the hybrid orthography, and that of course means grandfather. The next symbol here is a small raised O, kind of like a degree symbol. And when I see this, I know immediately that this is Hein Vink's second orthography. It's very distinguishable, very easily recognizable. But now it has been replaced by this small raised W. So we see here Gwadine. Gwadine. You can see the small raised W means that this is a rounded G, gwa. And then this is the hybrid equivalent of Gwadine, which means scotter or scoter. I'm not actually sure how to pronounce that, but it's a kind of duck from what I've heard. And then W is used to represent the letter U. So we see here buwa. Buwa. So this W is meant to make an oo sound, buwa. And we see the spelling in the hybrid orthography, which is a little clearer, and it means to flee. Next we have DH in Hein Vink 2, which is represented now with a lambda symbol. So this is tliksam, tliksam. And this is the hybrid equivalent using the lambda symbol instead of the DH. And also an E in between the lambda and the K, whereas we have a series of three consonants in a row, which gets a little bit visually confusing. So the hybrid spelling is clearer, and tliksam means buttercup root or silverweed. Next we have TH. So again, we have two consonants representing a single sound. Now we have a single symbol, one symbol representing one sound, the TL sound, tl. So in Hein Vink 2, we see tlapala, tlapala. And this is the hybrid spelling, and tlapala means airplane. Next we have a T with an apostrophe on top, followed by an H. This is now represented by the ejective barred lambda, and the word in Hein Vink's second orthography here is tlkje, tlkje. And this is the hybrid spelling, and tlkje means island. Sometimes you'll hear tlkje, 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 but more often than not, you'll probably hear tlkje. And then we have LH, which is now represented by the tilde L, and this is bathbule, bathbule. That's Hein Vink's second orthography spelling. This is the hybrid orthography spelling, and bathbule means rose hips. Next we have E, which is represented by the letters AI now, and this is bakwe, bakwe. So that's HV2. This is the hybrid equivalent, and bakwe means human body. Then we have the letter O, which is now represented by the letters AU, which is not exactly like O, it's more like O. So HV2, it's babelgyoth, babelgyoth, and this is the hybrid spelling, and it means bleeding a lot. And then we have the letter Y, which actually is represented by the letter I nowadays. So this is putsiyud. I believe that's how you would spell it. There's no actual accent marker in this one, so it's kind of hard to tell where to place emphasis on it. But the equivalent spelling now, it's actually an A instead of, this would actually be if there were a vowel here, it would be an E in between the P and the C. But now it's actually an A, so it's patsiyud. Patsiyud means to split dried oolakins in two. So these are the differences between HV2 and the hybrid orthography spelling. Everything else is essentially the same with ejective and glottalized consonants. So these are the consonants that have apostrophes on top of them. And the barred consonants are the same. So you have a G with a line over it as a back G sound, G, and the X with a line over top of it is more of the back X, which is Ch, or Ch. And also the apostrophes are used the same way in both Hein Vink 2 and the hybrid orthography. And another difference between HV2 and the hybrid is the letter E. It's used between consonants a lot of the time. So instead of the letter E in HV2, he used the E to stand in for the AI sound, which is eh, like in the English word get. So I'm going to switch back to my camera. So that is a look at HV2, which is Hein Vink's second orthography. Anathsta hnugutla kan homia ux. Thank you for watching.